What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Now, things, they are a-changing for the old lady, and overall, the World Cup break has done a lot to cause that. We can go to the boardroom, we can talk about the things that happened there, but also some of the performance of the players on the pitch, maybe even at the World Cup, has changed their futures. Stick with us, we'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the bianconeri zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today it's Friday, December 9th, 2022. Of course, I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the news you care about each and every day. Before we do anything though, do me a solid favor, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. And without any further ado, let's get into it. Obviously, we talk about all the things going on around the club. We are all ready to get back into this thing, get back into Juventus, get back into actually seeing some matches happen. Well, you still got about a month away, but we're going to get you through this thing all the same. Talking about the injury report right now, we have Romeo Gnesti giving us updates. He says that I'm very positive of the indications about Federico Chiesa's condition. So hopefully he'll be getting back into shape, be good to go. And then once this thing starts back up, he's going to be one of the main targets, obviously, Juventus will be looking at to create some goals there. Moving on, though, he also goes on to talk about Juan Cuadrado. His status, he says that for Cuadrado, there is no need to worry. He has some small discomfort in his knee. He will carry out an individual path with gym physiotherapy, individual pathology, really, for 7 to 10 days. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully he can continue to get back to shape. Well, I mean, are we going to be honest about my feelings about Juan Cuadrado? Do I need to tell you my feelings about Juan Cuadrado? Hopefully he gets back into this thing. Hopefully maybe he comes back and maybe he shocks us and ends up looking like the Juan Cuadrado of, 2 seasons past. Maybe not exactly the one we've been seeing for the better half of the year. All right, let's continue on, though, and let's talk about other players and their futures with Juventus. First up, let's talk about Danilo. Obviously, the Brazilians having a fantastic showing there in the World Cup. Probably the favorites to end up winning it in the end if it's not Argentina, because it is sports reporting that after the World Cup, Danilo and Juventus will meet again to talk about a new deal. Allegri and the club want him to stay longer. We talked about this multiple times over here on the channel already about how an idea of potentially giving Danilo the armband, should he renew, should he come back with the club, that he may be the captain of the club. I don't want to say going forward, but at least for the period of time that he will be renewed. I think we're probably going to set their sights on a different captain for the long term, but Danilo can definitely be a guy to replace Bonucci, who, if we're going to be honest, since the departure of Chiellini, has not withstood the test of time, if you will. All right, let's continue on. Talk about another player, Adrien Rabiot. We've talked about him so much on this channel. My personal opinion is it's time to put this one to bed. He's not coming back. I mean, he'll play with the club for the rest of the season, but then it's kaput. It's done. Adrien Rabiot says that Allegri has been important for his growth, but I still don't know if I will stay in Turin. We are -10 from Napoli with the return of Pogba and Chiesa. We can believe in it. 2 totally different topics. Really weird way for that part to start out. Obviously, it's been interesting to see how he's done. Would you say that Allegri's been important for your growth, Rabiot? Or would you maybe say the potential for me to make 10 million euros per season plus has been really the only thing that's spurred me along in doing this? But yeah, we can still, don't let the dream die. We can still believe about potentially chasing Napoli. He goes on to say the Premier League attracts me. I've always said I'd like to play there. Will it be at the end of my contract at Juve? I don't know. I don't have a favorite team in England. No team where I'd necessarily like to play. And what he's saying is whoever's got the money, whoever wants to pay up, I'll be willing to go. And that's fine. Nothing against that. There's nothing bad there. But of course, we know how Veronique, and we know how she's going to manage this thing. And she's going to try to, wring as much money as they can out of whatever club ends up signing Rabiot. And then we'll see if he can continue the starts that we've seen throughout this season, or does he regress to the mean, which is where I'd put my money on, is that Rabiot, after he has his contract, after he has his deal, you'll see more of the Rabiot we've seen of the last few seasons. That's just my personal opinion. You can battle with me in the comment section if you feel so inclined. Let's move it on. Now we got 2 players, interesting is a word to use, but two interesting players that Juventus could be potentially looking at in the Mercado if they end up making a move. First up, let's talk about this. Sky Sports reporting that Roma center back Chris Smalling is open to offers from Juventus and Inter if he were to move. Not well versed on the situation currently at Roma. Is he out of the Mourinho plan? What's going on there? But if he does want to hear about making a move, obviously Juventus and Inter are both in need of center backs. My only issue here is, what is the future of the club? What is the plan going forward? This is a 33-year-old guy. If you're going to sign him on for like a year or two, maybe, but otherwise, I think maybe you look another direction. You look at a guy who's a little bit younger, who you're going to have a little bit more wear on the tires that you can, or not wear on the tires, but you can a little more tread on the tires that you could probably look forward to having to for a long time. We'll see how they move about this, but Chris Smalling is a name to look out for in the future. Going off of that, though, we have another name to Juventus, one that I already know. I already know there's going to be plenty of people, boo, no, I don't want him. I don't want him. We don't need him. But he gave some good performances in the World Cup, so we have to take that into consideration, and that is something very important that we do notice. What I'm saying is, of course, I'm preparing you guys for the Christian Pulisic talks to Juventus. Is it a possibility? Is it nonsense? It may be a little bit more nonsense, but I know that's a name that's being floated out there in the past too. Gazzetta dello Sports reporting that should Pulisic decide to leave Chelsea, Juventus would be in for him as he remains a dream signing for the club. Dream signing for the club seems a little bit over the top. That seems a little bit much, my guys. I don't know how this plays out and how this, if it's an Allegri-based thing, what it is for the club. Also, what is the club? What is the club right now since all the board members stepped down? Is it just Allegri? When we're talking about a dream signing for the club, is it just going to be Cherubini and Allegri right now? Is that the club? Is that the club? Pulisic, obviously, me as an American, that'd be cool. I'd like to see him play for the club. I think, though, the best thing for the fans, best thing for the club is probably to look in another direction. It's also interesting to see what does the future hold for Weston McKennie at the club. It seems more and more likely each day that Weston McKennie will end up leaving the club, going somewhere else, probably the Premier League. And I think a lot of fans are okay with that. Maybe some fans will be happy with that. You know who I'm talking about. But also Pulisic, so would this just be another to those fans that don't want to see it? And I don't know. I'm not saying it's an anti-America thing, but there's some things, there's some vision, I think, with some fans that it's more of another tread in a similar direction that they're not really happy with. I don't know. Me personally, I'll stay out of this one. I guess I have a dog in the fight, but my dog is more just, that's cool to see Pulisic, an American player who reignited a little bit of that fire, though we did see them flame out a little bit against, obviously, unfortunately, a Matthias de Ligt side. Anyway, let's continue on, though, with the big final news of the day, and that's this talk about Juventus potentially going in a new, bigger direction. Maybe I don't say bigger because that's a disservice to Cherubini, but Juventus going in a different direction. Tutto Sports reporting saying that Cherubini could still walk at the end of the season, and if he does, the names to replace him are that of Gentoli, Tade, and Petracci. The club wants to move in a different direction, meaning signing still relatively young, unknown players. No big money signings like a Higuain, and also keep bringing youngsters from the U23 into the first team. Okay, this is one that I'm still trying to, how do I feel about this? The way they're saying this seems a little bit less, it's good and bad. You take the good with the bad, there you have facts of life. Anyway, that's a reference that a lot of you probably won't get. Anyway, I guess you take the good with the bad. The good, obviously, is investing in young, talented players. The Fagiolis, the Merettis, maybe Sule. We'll see what happens with his future. Those kind of players, those kind of guys, getting them run, continue on. Maybe also bringing Rovella back to the club. That's important. But also, when you say you want to go away, you don't want to sign any big money signings. Oh, what? I guess that, obviously you take out guys like Ronaldo, you take those guys out. But where's the bar? It says like a Higuain. Where's the bar for the amount of money you're spending? players that have built themselves up. If another big Italian talent comes along, a guy like, is a Federico Chiesa, is that a signing you want to get away from? And I understand the money issues. If that's it, I get it. I understand. You don't want to have this situation that we're currently in, that we're still trying to figure out where we are. But at the same time, like if another player comes along who is I don't want to just leave it to Italians, but another top tier talent that you could get at Juventus, I don't want to shy away from that completely. Though I do want to say, yeah, I think a lot of the investment should go back in to youth talent, youth players. We've seen them, what they've been doing for the club. You've seen the passion. You've seen it there. You've seen the difference that it can make. Interesting to me. Does that fit into these guys' systems? The guy that I'm most liking personally is that of Giuntoli. You see what he did there at Napoli. To me, that fits building a winning culture. And that's a guy who, if he comes into Juventus, could do the same thing here. Yes, it's a little bit because I want Raspadori. I'm still upset that we don't have Raspadori playing for the club. And it's still part of me that is passionate and frustrated. But anyway, would love to see what he could do with Juventus. Maybe take us to another level. Maybe help try to right the ship in treacherous seas as we have right now. All right. That'll do it for this edition of the news. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon, stay notified for all of our latest videos. I will see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri. Say hello to the old lady for me.